Hey, what's up guys, it's your boy Jonesy, and today we're going to be changing the spark plugs on my Lexus IS 350, the 2017 model, and the maintenance schedule calls for spark plug replacement at 60,000 miles, and my car is at 60,000 right now. So instead of giving the dealership $300 or $400, I just spent couple of dollars on these NGK spark plugs, and we're going to change them myself. So the location of the spark plugs are as follows. You got passenger side spark plugs 1, 2, 3 is under the intake, and the other spark plugs are right on this side underneath the coil pack right here. So for this side, we're going to have to remove, probably just loosen this up and take the air tube off, most likely. And on this side, we're going to have to just remove this wire, the wiring assembly for the coil packs, just to get it out the way and access the spark plug. So that's what we're going to do right now, very simply. So let's get to it. Alright, so we're going to need a few tools here to get this done. We're going to need the spark plugs, obviously. And whatever spark plugs you want to use, it's up to you. Either stick to NGK or Denso. Those are pretty much factory joints. And you want to make sure they're supposed to come pre-gapped from the factory at 0.044. So you know, if you have a gap tool, which you should, just double check to make sure they're all, before you put them in there, just double check them and make sure that they're all 0.4 or between 0.043 and 0.044 is within spec. You know, unless you're running a boosted 350, then spark plugs, just stick to the factory settings there. So you got your spark plugs, you need 6 of those, of course. And then you need the socket for the spark plugs. It's a 16mm spark plug socket. And I think that's it. Ratchet, extension ratchet, 10mm bolts all around here. And that's it. So we're going to get to removing this, the intake tube right here. We're going to get rid of that. Okay, so what I like to do is just disconnect this for now, the mass airflow sensor. I like to disconnect it just in case, because when you start like twisting and pulling everything here, it's gonna you don't want that twisting around and getting in the way there. So this looks like it'll just come out without me having to actually loosen this up. You think so? No, I'm gonna have to loosen it. So I'll just use this just to loosen it up a little bit. There, we got that out the way. And this is the old air filter. Doesn't look too bad, but I do have to change it out. It's scheduled to be changed. Doesn't even look dirty. Hold on, let me check this. Alright, you got spark plugs ready to go. Gonna have to pop this off with this. I probably didn't even need to loosen this. Just gonna tighten it back. this piece has to come out. I'm not really sure how to pop it out. There we go. Alrighty. So now we have access to the spark plugs. Sorry if that took a little bit too long, but yeah. Alright, so we're going to have to get this out of the way. Alright, so now we have access to the spark plugs here. And next we are going to remove these bolts, and I'd much rather use a power tool, but it's probably not a good idea. So I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. So of course we want to remove these from where they are before we okay. Hold on. Use this flathead. Jesus Christ. Alrighty, got those off. It looks like I'm gonna have to remove that bolt in order to gain access to the other side there. Don't worry about putting it on the wrong way, because you can't when you put it back, because they are alright, so now we got it loose enough to where we can take spark plugs out. So it doesn't matter which one you start with. I'm just going to start with this one. Take that out. This is the ignition coil. So we're going to change one at a time, of course. Alright, so throw your extension on there and try to get to that spark plug and take it out. Hopefully it comes out easy. Alrighty, looks like it came out pretty easy. So now I'm just going to do it by hand. Took quite a bit of force, but not bad, I guess, for 60,000 miles. Alright, so That's it right there. I don't know if you can see. Let's try to get this focused in here. Alright, so you can see a little bit of oxidation going on. Definitely should be changed. Looks like. Alright. So now we have to go ahead and put in a new spark plug. So just for comparison really quick, I'm going to take a look at the spark plugs. Let's see. Focus. All right. There. You can see the difference. Right. Oops. Okay, so when we're putting the spark plugs back in, just make sure, number one, that it's gapped correctly, and number two, that you tighten it by hand first, and remember it goes in at an angle, and just remember that it goes in at an angle. That's all I can tell you. Just put it in there nice and easy, and just slowly thread it in there. If you have to force it in, then back it out. So you see I'm doing it by hand and it's going in nice and easy. It's not, I don't have to struggle, nothing. Alright, so it goes in just like that. Alright, so at that point it's getting a little hard to thread in. Alright, so at this point I can't tighten it anymore with my hand. So now we're gonna put the torque wrench on there. I'm gonna tighten it to like 15 or 18 foot-pounds, which should be good enough. Alright. Alright, so there, it clicked. I got it at, I set it to 12, what did I set it to? 12 foot-pounds. I don't want to like push it too much and overdo it. So I set it to 12 foot-pounds. I think the specs are like 15 or 18, but the difference is not really that much, and I don't want to over tighten it. The chances of that being too tight is, the chances of that being too loose right now is actually pretty slim. So it's better to be, tight enough than to just overdo it. So that's what I did. I set it to 12 just to be on the safe side, because this may be plus or minus. It might not be that accurate, so I'm just going to do that because it feels comfortable. I feel like if I do any more, that it's going to be over tightened, and I don't want to do that at all. So that's definitely tight enough. And so now we're going to move on to the next one. I'm going to put the ignition coil back in there, and then we're going to go to the next one. Alright, so let's just throw this back in there, like so. And then put the screw back in, so we don't lose anything.
Seems good.
On to the next side now. As you can see, in the previous clip, I apologize, I changed the engine air filter and I forgot that I didn't have my microphone on, so there's no audio for that. But now for this side, what we're gonna do is we got to get this coil pack wire, whatever, out of the way. So what we're gonna have to do is, it looks like they're just clipped right here. So I figure if I just unclip these, I can kind of roll it out the way, and then I'll have access to the spark plugs. Alright guys, so basically all I did was unclipped the coil pack. It's connected to the intake manifold. It's just a clip. Just pry it out of there. Should come out easy. There's a clip here and a clip here, and the fuel rail, you're gonna have to loosen up a little bit so that you can kind of maneuver it out the way when you go to take this particular spark plug out. Alright, to get this last bolt out, very much a pain to get this one out. Alright, oh my god. So that one you have to use a, for that one you have to use a 10 millimeter, you know, regular open-ended wrench to get that out. There's literally no other way to get that one popped out of there. So, with that being said, just slide that out. I don't really like the way this I don't really like the way that one looks. But let's continue. Much easier than the 250 though. The 250 you have to take the with the 250 you actually have to take the whole the intake manifold off, which, my god, probably the worst experience. Alright, let's start her up.